Okay, it's telling us we're live. Here we go. Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 401, and tonight is Corona Hour number 9. That's right, I hadn't got my Corona out yet because we've been jacking with the daggum sound system in the computer. We're only 23 minutes late. So I apologize for that. Yeah, Geezer, if you would get me a Corona beer over there out of that ice chest. And everybody, my name is Butch Popeye Moss. My co-host is Mel O.G. Robbins, and our national SA Geezer is here with me in studio. And Mel is with me. OG is with me via the miracles of mobile phones. How are you doing, Mel?
The miracle of cell phones.
Yeah, it is. Just like it's the miracle of doctors and defeating cancer, huh? Again. But wow. Hey, Mel, we look out there. What's going on across the nation? Well, first of all, let's discuss the coronavirus. We're going to make a decision this week whether we're going to continue the Corona hours. Maybe we'll ask our people when we get more on the chat line here. And whether we ought to continue the Corona hour or just consider it defeated until the fall. So we'll make that decision here this week. And Geezer, how are you doing, buddy?
Well, I would.
Go ahead, boss.
I would think that all we have to do is wait for 2 weeks to see what happens with the count on the virus, and we're either going to know that this thing is real and a raging fire, or it was put up more as a hoax. I'm sure it exists, but if this thing doesn't spike viciously within the next 2 weeks, something's phony here.
Yeah.
Because with all of this non-social distancing going on around the country, mass mobs, it should have really kicked up a bonfire.
Yeah. Michael Glazer just popped up on the chat line. Good evening, Michael. How are you doing? And yeah, Mel. So what should we do here? Extend it another 2 weeks? Is that what you're suggesting?
What should what?
Should we extend it another 2 weeks? The Corona hour?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think may as well keep it up for a little while.
Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it at least for a couple more weeks. But yeah, we see all the people. Go ahead.
I think just to wait and see for this waiting period after all of this mass rioting has gone on. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, it continues to go on tonight. The rioting, the protesting, the looting, the killing. The mainstream media doesn't like to mention that, but there are people that are being killed. And we did a video last night at TexasBikerRadio.org with featuring Jasmine Kelly, whose sister was murdered in Davenport, Iowa, of all places. And so it's quite a moving video, but at the same time, it's talking about, the big deal is now that Trump in his photo op, but they failed to mention that Joe Biden is out there getting one photo op after the other. He went to a church with his Bible. He got down on his knees, and OG and Geezer, he did everything but twerk, and I'm not sure he didn't do that. He would if he thought it would get him a vote. Because let me tell you guys, he's the lyingest son of a bitch in the world. He never went to Selma, Alabama, or any of those places and participated in those marches. He was 17 years old at the time. There's no proof anywhere that he's ever participated in any civil rights marches, yet he lies about that all the time and gets away with it. He lies about it again and again and again. He's done it for 40 years. And nobody calls him out on it. Nobody. But we'll see as he gets ready to go through to the George Floyd funeral. And what is that, OG, other than a damn photo op? That's all it is. That's photo op central. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. How you doing? Jaman Rooney? I think that's how you pronounce that. Jaman. So anyway, you guys, I mean, you look at what's going on out there. Oh, gee, here's the way I see it. I thought of this today. This thing is going to go a couple of directions for us. Number one, things are the police are now finding themselves on the run. The kids of anarchy have got them on the run. So that, they are going to change. Police departments are going to change all across this nation. It's inevitable. But let me tell you, for us bikers, and for us guys that aren't black, this is going to go two directions, I feel. It's either going to get better for us or it's going to get worse. Because as we've seen, they have no problems taking out their frustrations, their anger, and whatever else on bikers. We've seen it again and again, especially people that are members of MCs and 1%. Because they've been vilifying us since 1947. And so it goes on and on and on. It's either going to get better, there's going to be opportunities for us here, or it's going to get worse. You think that might be the case? I'm just saying.
I would tend to agree. It not only has law enforcement vilified the motorcycle community, but so has the media, and so has Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think it'll just go downhill for us from here on, because they're running out of people that they can beat up and trample on their rights.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be interesting going forward to how all this plays out, and also at the same time how the election plays out. Because right now, according to all the polls, Joe Biden is ahead. But you know what? Hillary was ahead too. So we are defenders of the Constitution. This is what our club does. And let me tell you, the threat to the Constitution, as you know, the general came out today. What's his name? Oh, Mad Dog Mattis. Now, I've always said there's no shortage of liberals in the ranks of the military, especially officers' corps. Generally, they're there to add it to their resume as they go through life and on to, especially if they're going to be political. They want that on their resume, so they join the military. And so, there's no shortages of liberals among the officers' corps. And so General Mattis today decided to throw Donald Trump under the bus. And so, because they had a difference of agreement in policy. Well, you know what? When you're on the president's staff, your difference in policy should stay between you and the president. You don't go before the media and start running your mouth. But hey, look, this is the way it is nowadays. Everybody's running their mouth. Everybody's doing, doing the two-step out there. Everybody's seeking photo ops. Everybody's seeking their 15 minutes of fame. Or they're shooting for a job somewhere down the line. And I have no doubt that people like Bernie Sanders and people like Mad Dog Mattis, they're shooting for a job down the line. And look, they're already retired, but yet they want to add to it because they see the riches that come along with being a politician in Washington, D.C., or even a bureaucrat in Washington, D.C., while the rest of us out here wonder what the hell is going on. But all you got to do is look out there and see. And all you got to do is look out there and see who is a danger to the Constitution. And let me tell you, these protesters are out there, these rioters are out there, these ones that are doing all the damage, they're nothing but an army of the liberal left, the progressives, funded by them, organized and funded by them. All they got to do, look, if the FBI and Homeland Security and all these people are doing their jobs, which I assume they're not going to do because they've gone political. If they do their jobs, it's easy to figure out. All they got to do is follow the money. Follow the money. These people are being paid. Buses are being hired to bus them in. They're buying cars, junk cars. They're tinting the windows. They're doing all kinds of crap. I mean, or maybe they're stealing them. I don't know. And, and they talk about, well, they've been hiding bricks in the, caches here and there with bricks and sticks and stones and whatever else, flammable Molotov cocktails, hiding all this stuff around where they're protesting. Damn, man. They can't watch that shit and get them when they come for it. I mean, I'm just an average schmuck and I can figure that out. But damn. And we find out now in New York and other places like Philadelphia, they've changed their laws, and now there's basically no bail. They arrest these people and let them go a few hours later. They're back out on the damn street. In Ironhead, is it the same way in Michigan? Is it the same way there? Are they just arresting them and turn around and releasing them? I mean, what kind of stuff is this? Look, we get arrested for being over a white line and taken to jail. And Ironhead says, yes, sir. It's just like that in Michigan.
It's referred to as reform legislation.
There you go. There you go. Now, I can tell you, Mel, when that protesting got close to my home, and you ought to see my neighbors. They had all kinds of rumors flying. But let me tell you, they were locked and loaded and ready in case they came into the neighborhood because we're close to those places where they were. Actually, they did bust into some places, robbed a jewelry store.
They're just more living proof as to why you need a 30-round magazine.
Yeah. But my neighbors have them. Oh, yeah, they do. But the rumors that were flying was incredible because most of them, 99.9% of them were just that, rumors. Because I got in my vehicle because my damn bike's still in the damn shop. I got in my daggum vehicle and went up there and said, well, just a minute, I'll go check and see what's going on. They're going, oh, hell, Mel, be careful, be careful. I said, well, look, I'm locked and loaded. So I go up there and the police have them trapped on a bridge just like they did in Dallas the other night. I think that's a damn good idea. But you know what? The thing with George Floyd, that was horrible as hell. That was horrible. And today they upped the charges on that officer to second-degree murder. And so, and they also arrested these other three guys. Uh, uh, Two of them that had actually had their hands on George Floyd, and the other one that was standing by keeping anybody from interfering. They've arrested them for being accomplices to second-degree murder. Now, I don't know whether they're going to make that stick with those guys or not, because some of them were actually talking to him and telling him, hey, look, maybe we ought to roll him over. Maybe we ought to do this. I mean, they saw what was happening. I don't know why in the hell one of them didn't get up and drag him off of him, because they knew this wasn't going to end well. They had to know. Do you think?
I don't think they think of what's going on in the moment. I don't think they think ahead very much.
But you know what? You know what, OG? We found out today, or well, actually, it's been a few days ago. We found out about it that police officer. I can't remember his name. He and Floyd had actually worked in the same club as bouncers.
Well, the cop was an outside security guard.
He was outside.
Yeah, the lady said that her personal security was inside the club. The off-duty police officers worked outside the club.
Okay, so Floyd was inside.
Yeah,
but they had to have known each other.
Well, she said she had quite a few security guards working there on a lot of things.
I mean, that is really, really weird, OG. Really. I don't know whether there's anything going on there, but we'll be finding out, won't we? I think I put OG asleep again. You know what? He's probably chasing a dog or somebody. Anyway, but look, like I said, that was a terrible thing to witness. If you watch that video, it's pretty hard to watch 9 minutes of it, and some people are going to be toast. OD, have we heard anything from Minnesota lately?
Haven't learned another thing.
Okay.
Other than, and everybody knows, all officers have been charged.
Mm-hmm.
It was the feeling in the beginning by those close to the situation there that of the four, the one was going to go down. There was no doubting that. But it was felt there were two of them that were fresh out of the academy and rookies. Now, you can look at it two different ways. One, everyone, I don't care what rank or grade you are, where you are in the pecking order, if something is not right within humanity, you've got to be the right kind of individual and stand up and do something about it.
Mm.
There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, even in the military, you can't be court-martialed or given captain's mask or Article 15 if you fail to follow an unlawful order. They can't do anything to you.
Right.
And, so there's that trail of thought. The other trail of thought is you got rookies fresh out of the police academy with their partners who are supposedly seasoned officers.
Right.
Supposed to be teaching them the right way. And these rookies are basically scared of their training officers
Yeah.
and are not going to do anything to go against them because they know they could lose their job immediately.
Right.
So, you've got that possible thought process going on. So the thought was that the rookies probably wouldn't be charged, but definitely will not get their jobs back because they were rookies. They have no union protection. And that's a quote, okay? That's a quote from a source. They have no union protection, therefore they're dead meat relative to getting their job back. Now, this is a conversation held a week ago or a few days back. The fourth individual is a seasoned officer. However, he was supposedly on the perimeter, which I could not sustain the accuracy of that statement because a few videos that I watched showed all four of them gathered around Floyd and basically on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the theory was that he probably would get his job back because he was on the perimeter watching out for the cops that were involved,
Right.
basically protecting them against the bystanders.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't really buy into that. I mean, years and years ago when I was in college, I took a criminal law course. And there's something in there called public outcry. And basically what that means is whatever infraction of the law you may break, sometimes you may get off scot-free, and sometimes you may not. However, if there is enough public outcry against the crime that you've committed, you're going to go to hell in a handbasket real quick because the public is demanding your head, and all of the politicians, the judges, everybody is basically afraid of the mob. And that's what you have right now. You've got horrendous public outcry, which has now all four of them are being charged. The perpetrator is now going to go down for second-degree murder, carries a 40-year sentence in Minnesota, and the other three are being charged with aiding and abetting. If convicted, they receive the same sentence as the guy that's going down for second-degree murder. So it will be real interesting to see what the defense comes up with when this goes to trial.
Yeah.
Now, I heard an interesting thing very briefly on Fox today, which kind of intrigued me. And what I heard was there was some kind of a connection between Floyd and the officer that killed him.
Yeah.
The connection being they worked together in a club.
Right.
Now, rumor has it that there were, shall I say, illegal activities going on within this club.
Mm-hmm.
It is now being theorized that possibly Floyd knew something he shouldn't have known.
Right.
And again, I'm saying, this is all theory, but it was out there on national TV on Fox that this should be investigated and looked into thoroughly because there's a possibility that if this is true, this could easily escalate to first-degree murder.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what the family's wanting. They're wanting first-degree murder charges. And OG, I don't think any of this is going to stop and or even slow down until what the family wants, they get.
Well, I know there's a huge public outcry right now, but there's also been in the past resistance on the part of juries to convict police officers.
Hmm.
Now, I know we haven't seen that in Dallas because that gal got sentenced pretty quickly for mistakenly shooting that guy in his apartment.
Yeah.
Now, I honestly believe this gal was tired. I mean, I've done crap before when I've been especially tired to where all of a sudden I didn't realize where the hell I was. And it's entirely possible she wandered into the wrong damn department, got startled, had a memory, a muscle memory reaction, and shot the guy.
Yeah.
Entirely possible. But yet, the public outcry was great enough in this that the jury convicted her of a stronger charge, and she's in jail today. So
Yes.
it'll remain to be seen what the hell happens. I mean, how are these cops going to get a fair trial anywhere now?
Yeah. Well, you know
I
what?
mean,
And that would be that way across the nation anytime. Let me tell you, gee, now the lady that shot the black guy, she should have used the same defense the guy used over in Fort Worth. That it wasn't him that shot the person, it was his finger. Remember that one? Claimed his finger did it. Now,
Cut his finger off
as
and hang
funny
it.
as that sounds, it's true. It's true. You guys on the chat line, it's true. That was the guy's defense. His finger shot the person, not him.
Did they accept that defense?
I don't think they did. I think his ass is in jail. But there's OG. I think that the police now, these neighborhoods that really need them, the police are going to back off. And that's the reason I said it may get worse for us, because the police are going to go policing somebody or someplace they think is safe. And I hope it's not that way. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it gets better for all of us. Because as we know, those gang databases where the police operate in secrecy and are protected by the governor and the attorney general and a whole host of other people, including judges all across the state. But we know those gang databases are full of erroneous data, just like they were in Chicago. And we know of members within our organization who is a political club that are in that gang database that don't belong in it. They have a clue how they got there. And OG, we've checked it out. We've done a survey. There's not one person that we can find has ever got their name out of the gang database. Not one. So damn. There are some moves we can make to help bring things in line. And where everybody's treated with respect, no matter what color you are, no matter what you're wearing, no matter what you're driving or riding, that everybody's treated with some civility. And that you're not framed because of those things that, what you're wearing, what you're driving, what you're riding, what club you're a member of, and what color you are. So that's where we're at, buddy. And we got some really, really tough decisions to make going forward here. Who's going to best look after the people? Not who's standing up there in line saying whatever they think anybody wants to hear. And they're, they're, we know who the culprits are of everything that's going on. The left wing politicians, the media, and now the rioters who are having their way. So in unison, they attack, and in unison, they slow down. And we'll see how the ups and downs going forward of all this. Now, I do believe at some point, if this keeps up, if the looting keeps up, if the burning keeps up, if the killing keeps up, the people are going to demand some action. It won't matter whether they're a liberal governor or not, or politician. Oh, and OG, I found out today that Cuomo and that de Blasio, they hate each other's guts. They hate each other's guts. They can't stand each other. Wow.
Well, years, I can't remember. My memory's foggy back this far back, but when Watts was going on, how long did that riot last? Before they got
what?
When Watts, yeah,
When Watts happened.
it was about a week,
I
wasn't
seem
it?
to
Before
remember maybe a couple weeks.
Yeah.
yeah, before they got control of it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. But
and-
you know, that was one city.
that was one city.
Yeah.
Right? It was big though, because it was
Yeah.
It was on all the news. Of course, you only had 3 channels back then, but it was on all the evening news channels.
Well, let's, I mean, we can talk about all the bad apples out there and the fact that a lot of this is driven politically. A lot of these departments are driven by politics. We know Texas sure as hell is because
Yeah.
of the crime database.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, this has turned into a hunting season to kill cops.
Yeah, it is.
They're, and that's wrong. It is. That does not make anything right. I mean, you've got several tragedies out here. The one that really sticks in my mind right now, well, there's 2 incidents that have been on TV a lot. One is that retired St. Louis police captain, 77 years old,
Yeah.
got shot because he went down to a pawn shop, a friend's pawn shop that was being robbed, and they killed him. And you got people videoing him lying in the street, bleeding to death, and no one even tried to help this guy.
Nobody.
No, they were still beating
And-
him too, as he
And
was
then
down.
you've got the police officer in Las Vegas that had an altercation with a protester, and I use the term loosely, in front of Circus Circus. Now, he was a Metropolitan cop, and he was in an altercation with a protester, and someone came up behind him and shot him in the back of the head. Now, he's on life support right now.
Yeah.
So, you got stuff like that going on. They're shooting at cops. There have been many cops wounded that have bullet wounds that it hasn't been reported by the media.
Yeah. You guys, I was going through the FBI files today. I like to do that because they actually keep statistics on this stuff. Although they've got some new statistics now, and they just started it not long ago, where they're keeping track of police officer shootings. Now, OG, what I found out is of only 1 in 5 of officer shootings are reported to the FBI. In other words, they don't know about it. They don't have their names. 1 in 5. But now this is going to change with this new data thing they're going to have going on. So they're compiling that data now. I don't know that they have enough to throw out there. But what I did find out as looking through the FBI database, yeah, well, of course, we all know there's 350 million people in the U.S. and there's 800,000 law enforcement officers of different agencies, local, federal, state, all across the country, 800-something thousand. And the police each year have 30 to 50 million interactions with the public each year. That's a lot. So, but the what I could find where it was broke down, you know, of the in the latest I could find was 2018. The average has been about 10 million arrests have been made each year, and in 20 well this last year so far this year there's been 1,028 people killed in the last year by police. So, but they and of those people that were killed, 49% were white, 24% black, 13% other, which is Hispanic and so on. But what we find out is that even though there's more whites that are shot, the black is only 13%. They're only 13% of the population, so it makes the figure higher because their percentage in the population, and so you know this is and in Chicago last weekend there were 84 people shot. 23 of them are dead. But we don't hear anything about that because that was the worst week they've had this year, last weekend. With all the riots and everything else going on, they got people out there, black on black, shooting each other. And yes, most of it gang-related, I guess. And they could talk about the children that are each year that are hit by stray bullets. But everybody, too, is pointing out all these places where they're the worst of the worst are Democratic-run cities. So you go and figure out, you know, hey, look, they've been controlling this city 40, 50 years. And it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. It stays the same. And it will, even if Biden's elected and they promise the moon, they're not going to deliver on it. And what everybody needs to do at that point is hang on to your freaking pocketbook, because they're going to tax the hell out of everybody to do all the goofy ideas they all have of ending fossil fuels and everything else. It's crazy. It's crazy that anybody would even think of pulling, of going and voting for anyone on the left. Any one of them. I don't give a damn where they're at. And you know, I know there are folks out there don't like it when we get too political. And a lot of times we talk in generalities, but let me tell you, this is so damn important. This is important. Because we're either going to go one direction or the other. We're either going to go up or we're going to go down to hell. One or the other. One side is going to take us to past this virus and on to prosperity, and the other side just going to tax the hell out of us and ship businesses off to China. And I would suggest all those punks that are out there walking around, at some point they're going to need a job. Because if they get their way, the very people that are funding them are going to turn around and let them have it. That's what's going to happen. Or maybe they just turn into the brown shirts and they just run around rioting and keeping people in line. The thought and the police, the speech police, because they don't want you to have a mind of your own. They don't want you to have freedom. They want you to comply. And they're probably worse than any police department down there about wanting you to comply. Just my opinion.
Speaking of comply, I saw an interview with a retired sheriff,
Uh-huh.
and he's head of some law enforcement thing. But he was saying, the rioters, they have a right to riot and everything.
They have a right to riot?
They have a right to protest.
Okay.
But if they would just comply when the police officer tells you to get down on your knees, put your hands behind your back, if they would just comply, they wouldn't get shot.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Cops think that way.
Yeah.
If you don't do what I'm telling you to do, they're worse than my second grade teacher that would come through with a damn ruler and beat you.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't do what she tells you to do, you're going to get beat or shot or choked to death.
I had a band teacher do that with a baton. He'd come around the band hall room there where we were trying to learn to play. He'd come around and whack us with that baton. Finally, I got to where I had it. I jerked it out of his hand and whacked him with it. Needless to say, that was the end of my band days.
But I also read an article in the New York Times. They want to do away with the police.
Oh, yeah.
And have a rapid response social.
Rapid
response social workers.
This is what we're talking about, the goofy ideas. I mean, you think the criminals wouldn't have a field day with that? Oh, gee.
Talk about returning to the Wild West.
Really? I mean, don't give up your weapons to anybody. And Geezer's getting a lot of phone calls.
That's the problem with these millennials and these liberals and these progressives.
Uh-huh.
They live in some fuzzy haven where they don't understand consequences.
But it's because that if you look out there tonight and all week long, there has been no consequences. It's like I said, if the FBI and the Homeland Security and whoever else, all these data gathering bunch of son of a bitches that listens in on everybody that's supposed to be out there protecting us, if I haven't heard of anybody that they've arrested. Nobody. I haven't heard of anybody that's in deep shit. I haven't heard of anybody that they've followed the money and made an arrest. And I would think it would lead to the doorstep of George Soros and the Democratic damn party. And many others. Hey, let's take a look at the people in Hollywood who have raised $20 million for bail for people that are not having to pay any bail. It drives you nuts when you see what's going on. Because you know what happens to us.
You heard about Dak Prescott. He's donating $1 million to train police on how to respond to people.
There you go. That'll get it done. How about getting out there and donating some money to one of these businesses that's been burnt down?
Yeah.
One of the mom and pop businesses. How about getting out there and helping them? And God forbid shit get that bad here in Texas, because there are a lot of people here that won't put up with it. And if you saw Saks Fifth Avenue last night and this morning, where they boarded up all their windows, put up fences and razor wire, and have about 70 tough son of a bitches with canines out there, including pit bulls. Nobody went near that place. Nobody. They had it. They've had it.
There's nothing wrong with pit bulls. They're good dogs.
Look, I got Gus the attack dog down here at our feet. Problem is, he just attacks Geezer. But that's another story. It's enough to drive you mad. Hey, y'all got any questions there on the chat line? We can answer for you. Right to riot sounds right. I don't know what Hunter there. He said Peppy or Pee-Pee. Yeah, we do, Carrie. And I do now. Let me tell you, wherever I go, you never know who you're going to run into. He said, Ironhead is telling me, he said, you can't even walk around Detroit right now. He says it's all over the news as we speak. Well, I did have the news up here on another computer a while ago, but things went to hell with our sound system. That's why we were late coming on. It's matter of fact, it's fragile. If we touch any wires, everything goes to hell. So we're not touching anything. We're just drinking beer and talking to you guys.
Margarita, Bloody Marys.
He's drinking Bloody Mary. He's gonna get on his motorcycle ride home, and I may have to drive him home. Oh, gee, you got a Corona, buddy?
No, I'm.
Am I wearing you out?
I'm just sitting here, ever since there was some activity in McKinney the other night down in the town square. And, these Antifa folks keep talking about coming to the suburbs and crap like that. So all I can say is the neighborhood's pretty well armed up.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've caught on to exactly who lives in this neighborhood yet, but I'm sure if and when they do, they might try and visit the neighborhood. So
yeah,
we're kind of vigilant right now.
Well, you live in a damn gated neighborhood. There ain't no gates around my neighborhood. It's every man for himself here.
Well, don't feel bad. My neighborhood, nobody wants to loot my neighborhood. they drop stuff off that they picked up.
Geezer, how do you pronounce that name right there?
Guillermo.
Guillermo?
That's William in Spanish.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you told me that.
Oh, Popeye, but you'll have to talk to your son-in-law. He was asking me the other day what I thought about looking at houses in Waxahachie.
Oh. Well, I mean,
I said, no, hell no.
Waxahachie is only 40 miles away.
About the same as McKinney.
Yeah. Hey, OG, I'm proud of you. You didn't pronounce it Waxahachie.
Yeah, he is from Minnesota, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
I start getting uncomfortable when I get over there south of 20 by 287.
Yeah. Hey,
what the hell? I may as well start looking in Fort Worth.
Yeah. Hey, Guillermo, you're gonna have to call me and tell me how to pronounce your last name.
Orozco.
What?
Orozco.
I'll be damned. Listen to Geezer.
Just call him Torque. He said Guillermo Orozco or Torque.
Okay. He was ready to ride to the Alamo the other day when things got froggy. So, yeah. Did we miss something? What went on at the Alamo?
Oh, people were trying to burn it down.
Really?
Yeah,
Going to burn the Alamo down?
there was 40 militia members down there. They ran the police off. 40 militia members held them off until the SWAT team got there.
Wow. Good for them.
Oh yeah, that was a big deal down in San Antonio.
How in the hell did I miss it?
You were
What was
driving
it,
around the damn.
Texas Freedom Fighters or something like that.
It was something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, what?
you were driving around all the.
Well, I was driving around the damn
going on here.
protesters here to make sure they wasn't coming over here to the neighborhood so my neighbors wouldn't shoot them. But I guess, if that would be a really, really bad mistake to come into any neighborhoods in this area, because there's a lot of armed people here with a lot of ammo, a lot.
Well, most Texas neighborhoods are like that.
Yeah. Just saying. But man, we're going to see, you guys. We're going to see. And you guys, I do have a feeling this is going to go on and on and on. That this is going to be different stages. Saturdays is Floyd's funeral, right? In Houston. I'll bet you that day there's going to be more hell. And Joe Biden's going to be there for a photo op.
Well, there's going to be a lot of rich folk, Joe Biden,
Yeah.
politicos, and other stuff
Yeah.
down there. So
Yeah.
the funeral itself won't be bothered, but probably outlying areas will be.
Yeah. It's amazing that this chat line here, that they, if you say anything, the F word or hell or anything like that, it asks me if I want to show it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it won't ask me and it just won't do it. So I think that's part of the censorship.
I saw there's a way to block all that stuff. You'd have to ask.
Yeah, I don't want to
Red-
block it. I want these guys to have their say.
No, I mean to block all the censorship.
Yeah.
You'd have to ask Redneck how to do that. That's above my pay grade.
Yeah. Well, this is yeah, Mel, you got any closing thoughts?
Stay safe. Be aware of your surroundings.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Geezer, you got any closing thoughts?
Drink a Bloody Mary every day. It makes you feel better.
That's right. That's right.
Keeps you away from Corona.
Stay away from the coronavirus. They say it's dangerous, although I can't find anybody that acts that way.
I hadn't found anybody that's
I'm
had it
telling
yet.
you guys that they were nuts to butts up here at the Lowe's today. The parking lot was full. I'm trying to figure out why. Why? And that damn one that's near us that only has that any given time 2 registers open. So it takes you an hour to check out.
Was everybody buying plywood?
I don't know what they were doing. Hey, you know who? Hey, OG, you know who plyboarded their store? Take a guess. Who would you think it would be? A big department store? A mom and pop place? How about Harbor Freight?
Yeah.
Harbor Freight
The, cheap-
boarded up the front of the building.
the cheapest tools in the business.
I know. The damnest thing I've ever seen. People are crazy. Crazy.
Who the hell is going to steal their tools?
But yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. With that, everybody, have a great day. Remember to get out there and watch what's going on closely. Not like me, who misses the attack on the damn Alamo. If I would have known that was happening, I would have been on the damn road. I promise you. Leave our shit alone here in Texas. We're not going to put up with it. And I would say to anybody out there, any business owner and stuff, you've got the right to protect your property. And I mean, even with lethal force.
That's right.
Everybody needs to take a look at what Saks Fifth Avenue did. They weren't going to put up with it. And that's in the middle of New York City, where they don't like guns at all. But let me tell you, here in Texas, we love them. We love our guns. We love God. We love our families. We love our state. We love our cities. And let me tell you, well, we'll talk about that next week. I'm going to talk about the plight of the black people here in Texas. Not everybody's poor. Not all of them are destitute. They've had every benefit you can have to be a success. Yet we find in these cities where they're run by liberals, the opportunities somehow get pushed to the side.
Guillermo said, God, guns, and tatas.
There you go. We like tatas.
Roger.
Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. I did know a gal out. I had a gal on my sailboat one time. She had a butt so tight, if you threw a dime at it, it'd bounce back and put your eye out. Yeah. But that's another story, everybody. Have a good evening, everybody, and ride safe. Ride safe. Maybe there'll be some biker news next week. It's been quiet as hell. It really has. Ride safe. Good night.
Night.
And we